Are you just getting into fingerstyle guitar? Stick around, I've got 3 great exercises to get your finger picking in the correct way. Hello everyone, it's James from Practice Like a Pro, helping you with simple clear guitar tips to help you on your guitar playing journey. So, today we're going to talk about 3 fingerstyle guitar exercises that are going to kind of break into that style for you. But we don't just do fingerstyle guitar, we've got lots of other content on this channel, so please consider subscribing. We're also now on Instagram as well if you'd like some behind the scenes kind of stuff, see what we get up to during the day. Let's get into it. First we need to talk about the technique with his right hand. Now I like to adopt a sort of hybrid of the classical position. Some people call this the claw, where you sort of bring your hand over the strings. We're going to start there and then modify it as we move through the exercises. So what we're going to do, we're going to take his thumb, and his thumb is going to cater for the low E, the A and the D. Then we're going to use as index, middle and ring fingers to pick the G, the B and the high E. So what we're going to do to begin with, I just want you to pluck all the strings in order using the correct fingers. Thumb, 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 index, middle, ring. Let's do that again. Thumb, 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 index, middle, ring. So that takes us on to his first exercise. I'll put the tab on screen for you. All I want you to do is fret an E major chord. Now, when you're fretting your chords, especially in finger picking, make sure you're using the tips of your fingers, because otherwise you'll catch the strings underneath and then you'll get this kind of, it'll start going well, and you'll start getting those kind of noises, which isn't what we want. So make sure you're on the tips of your fingers, you're pushing your wrist out, you've got your thumb on the back of the neck, and we're going to use the same picking pattern, but we're going to fret an E major chord. For our second exercise, we're going to expand upon the first one. So I want us to fret a G chord, and we're going to pick the bass note, and the bass note's going to move each time that we move through it. So we're going to pick as low E first, and then we're going to move through the 3 index, middle and ring fingers to begin with. So you've got E, G, B, high E. Moving on, these 3 fingers on the G, the B and the high E are going to stay the same. However, we're going to pick his A string. So we've got, from the beginning, E, G, B, E, A, G, B, E. So we're halfway through. Coming up next, we've got his D string. So we're picking a D as his bass note. And then to finish it off, we're going to go to his A string. So you can see that his index, middle and ring fingers are all doing the same thing, and it's just his thumb that's moving around. Now once you get that up to a sort of decent pace or sort of higher tempo, it starts to sound really good. And you can get a lot of mileage out of that without having to do too much with your left hand. Obviously, if you're a right-handed guitar player, you don't have to do much with that with your right hand, and it starts to sound really impressive. For his third exercise, we're going to do more country and western kind of vibe, and this is, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to sort of break that classical guitar kind of technique. Sometimes you've got to break the rules to get a good sound. So what we're going to do, we're going to fret a C chord, and we're just going to pick the middle 4 strings. So I'm picking A, D, G, B. After I've done that, with my fretting hand, I'm going to go with my 3rd finger. Instead of pressing the 3rd fret of the A string, I'm going to press the 3rd fret of the low E. So I'm changing the bass note from a C to a G. Once I've done that, I'm going to pick the G note I should say, the low E string, followed by the previous notes from the C chord that I picked. So, go back from the beginning just to be clear. C chord as normal, and we're going to pick the A string, the D, the G and the B. Then I'm going to move my 3rd finger on my fretting hand up to the low E string. I'm going to pick the low E string, followed by the D, the G and the B. If I mix that together, you get a country and western kind of vibe. Now, if that feels strange, hovering your hand over in that classical kind of position, on acoustic guitar, you can do this on electric as well. You've got like a little bevel on the edge of your bridge. You can rest that part of your thumb. If you follow your thumb right down to the bottom, you can rest on there. And you get a bit more of a country and western sound because it's forcing you to pick back at the bridge. So where do you go from here? Well, if you take some of those exercises and modify them to the chords that you're using, maybe in some songs that you're working on in your own time, you'll find that your chord progressions have a new lease of life and the sound a lot more impressive by applying those techniques. Now, a lot of it is sort of muscle memory. So when I was practicing this, I'd sort of sit and watch TV and just, even if you're not fretting anything, and just try to get that rhythm and that sort of mechanical aspect of it. Guys like Tommy Emmanuel are great at this with their bass playing, and it gets so mechanical that they don't have to think about it, and that's kind of where I want you to go to with it. So please do remember, if you're using, let's say, the exercise that covers the E chord, and you want to apply it to an A minor, we use E major, we use all 6 strings, whereas A minor we only use 5. So sometimes you've got to get creative and kind of make the notes up somewhere. So that might mean that you catch an extra string on the way down or on the way back up to sort of make the 6 or the 8 of the bar. I hope you found today's lesson valuable. If you did, please let us know in the comments and hit the like button. Above me we have the subscribe button. If you want to see more of his content, please consider hitting that. We're also on Instagram. And we've got some other videos if you want to watch some more of my content. Until I see you next time, thank you very much. Keep practicing like a pro.